Right, Kerrang Radio, it's me, Johnny Doom, and I've got Valo and Mige. Is that how you say it, Mige?
That's exactly how you say it.
I
like to give people liberties with
yes. I've got him, of course, well, they're not in the studio, but I'm speaking to them. Are you in London right now?
At the moment, yes.
Yes. And it's all about the new album, really. I've been hearing lots of flutterings in the media about the new album, various things. It's going to be called Tears on Tape.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I can gather, I've played a track a while back, but I've just got a new track as well, which we're going to listen to at some juncture. But yeah, it's called All Lips Go Blue. And what I can make out from it is you've still kept the kind of trademark hymn sounds, but you kind of added a bit more balls on the guitars, maybe.
So that's it, yeah. Okay, yeah. You said it, man.
Yeah, wrinkled old man's balls.
Yeah.
But
balls have finally
with sprouting grey hair. Having the attic smell.
I kind of read somewhere that you wanted to kind of beef up the guitars and go back to, I suppose, earlier sounds a little bit on this one. Is that what you did?
Well, I'd say that, when I was working the songs, it sounded so wimpy and weepy, just played on acoustic, that we really needed tons of fat and meat around the bones to make it, sound like him. So I think that's the main reason for it being the way it is.
Yeah,
if you strip out the riffs of it, like All Lips Go Blue, it just sounds like the Ronettes, which is exactly what we don't want to be. But I couldn't help myself, it's a perverse thingy. It's like musical masturbation.
Yeah,
it's always been like that though. It's this weird kind of juxtaposition between big kind of riffs and then kind of love songs in a lot of way, dark love songs, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But yeah, lots and lots of fans. I played All Lips Go Blue the other week, and there was. Well, Twitter just exploded, so things are looking good for the album. I've heard that you're going to release it in a fairly unconventional way as well. You're going to be putting it kind of out with a magazine or something like that.
Yeah, at the moment we're just working with Metal Hammer, lovely people. Were there at their headquarters yesterday, and there's going to be this special super edition fan pack thing, which is 132 pages of everything him related. It's not necessarily just about us. We're trying to get some interviews in, for example, me interviewing my hero Carl McCoy from Fields of Nephilim. Incorporate stuff that makes him him. So it's going to be like an 132 page magazine. There's going to be a poster, like super big, like dog poster, like what we had in the 80s, and the actual album with some bonus tracks and a digipack edition, actually, what it is. And we're going to work on the artwork as well, try and make it different from the actual jewel case thing that's going to come out later.
Yeah, I think Machine Head did one not long ago for their last album, and it was a really good thing. Obviously, they're a rival magazine to us, but at the same time, we've all got to support the rock, the metal. So yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really, really good way of getting it out there, to be honest. And are you happy with the album? In retrospect, now it's all finished and things like that.
No, we hate it.
No, I can't stand the sight of it.
No, that's how it is. That's how it is when you record an album. Yeah. After you've worked on it for so long, there's a little point where you go, I never want to hear this again.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it's not like that with this one. Not at all. I just can't wait to get back to the rehearsal place and just working on the live version of them. Since we're going to start touring as well. We're playing London, and then heading over to the States in early May, doing the special gigs and stuff like that. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
so
good.
It's not all bad.
Yeah, not only nausea.
And has life been good generally? I suppose I'm asking Ville more than anyone. Has life been pretty good? Because there was quite a gap really between, your last album and things. And you were quite quiet for a bit. Were you just working on songs?
Yeah, well, basically, I wasn't quiet back home. I was screaming and shouting at my missus.
I suppose I didn't see you.
Bake me more muffins, baby. But we're working on the music, and then one of the reasons for that long break was the fact that our drummer suffered an injury in his hands. He had some nerve damage, and he couldn't play for 8 months.
Ooh.
So we were on the verge of. We didn't really know whether we're going to break up or if we can continue as a band, since it was pretty serious at that time. We had to wait for a month at a time, and it didn't get better, it got worse. And then after about 6-7 months, it started getting better, and And then when we headed over to the rehearsal place, was it late last May, everything was fine and dandy again, and I think because of that break, we had a lot of youthful energy we haven't witnessed in like 20 plus years, and got the stuff together fairly fast and went into the studio, and here we are.
So he is okay now?
Oh, well, not mentally, but, I think the hands are okay.
Yeah. Right, so I've asked you if you could choose a few tracks, some tracks that have been an influence on you, an influence on your work, or just something you loved when you were growing up, really, just to get a feeling of, like, what you listened to. So let's do one, really. What do you want to go with first?
Well, the obvious choice for me would be Christian Woman by Type O Negative.
Oh,
as
lovely.
a tribute to the great late Peter Steele. He's such a huge influence on what we do. They were one of the first bands to incorporate the sweet with the heavy, that melancholy type, and then at the same time being very, very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I didn't really understand them when I first saw them. I saw
the same thing.
It was shocking when you heard it first time.
Yeah, I saw it on Headbangers Ball, I think, Christian Woman, and I was like, it's goth, but it's kind of heavy, but it's really melodic, and it's kind of like,
the same thing. I didn't get it at all at times, and then the album was very varied. If you think of Bloody Kisses, there's so many different kinds of things going on. There's like Kill All the White People.
Yeah.
Like super angry kind of punky stuff, and all of a sudden something really pretty and mellow. And
he loved messing around with people's heads, didn't he? And kind of just being really provocative.
Yeah, he was very successful at that.
So let's do it anyway. This is Christian Woman on Kerrang Radio by Type O Negative. I'm here with him. Right, it's Kerrang Radio. That was Times Like These by Foo Fighters, of course. Didn't expect that one, to be honest, but that was your choice, wasn't it, Midge?
Yeah, Dave Grohl, he's a legend.
And he's licked my face.
Has he?
Yeah. Well, I was at the Garlic and Shots in London, and I was wasted as wasted can be, and all of a sudden there was this like sloppy thingy on my cheek, and I turned my head, and it was Dave.
Well, we have to examine your pores, there might be some kind of a DNA left there, so we can clone him.
Yeah, clone.
In case,
we could finally have a good drummer.
Indeed, yeah, because, the previous one gets these stigmas, like marks of Christ all the time. Yeah, we should have a plan B, that's...
He's a legend, though. He's a legend, isn't he? He's really kind of... I mean, when we first saw him, well, I first saw him in a band called Scream, actually, years ago, like a hardcore band. Yeah. But yeah, when he was in Nirvana, he was just at the back doing the drums. But then... we've seen so much from him since then. He's drummed on Killing Joke albums, and he's done all kinds of projects. He's doing that Sound City thing at the moment. He's just a really, really busy, kind of nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like a Renaissance man. Yeah,
and what is it about Foo Fighters for you? Just really strong songwriting?
No, the songs are good, and then the feel of the band is good. One by one as a record, it just has a nice feel. It's nice to put on, and it just kind of makes you, when you lose your hope, it brings
it brings
times
back
like
hope.
these, you'll learn to love again.
Lovely.
Which is of course bullshit. Come on.
None of us believe it.
I do.
Right, it's Kerrang Radio. I'm here with Ville, Valo, of course, and Midge from him. We've chatted about the new album. They're just choosing some songs, some tracks for the show. And yes, what's next? What's next, Ville?
Well, since Mige is going with all the really, soppy ones, I want to keep it heavy and real, right?
Yes.
So, another obvious choice, we can't leave Black Sabbath out of it.
No.
So we need to have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I haven't heard that in radio in such a long time. It's one of my favorite riffs, one of my favorite songs ever. And also, that's one of the first songs, if you think of it, that had that heavy, easy going thing. It has that nobody will ever let you know. That really pretty part after the super heavy chorus.
Sing to me, baby.
Ooh. No, but it's a beautiful song, and that was kind of like, I think that song was actually my introduction to Black Sabbath. So for me, I lost my virginity when it comes to that particular band.
Well, yeah, Sabbath, very special band, because we're here in Birmingham, of course. That's where Kerrang Radio is situated, and that's where Black Sabbath came from. Just up the road. And yes, total legends, absolute legends. They're actually in the studio now, aren't they? Finishing up or kind of getting together their album with Ozzy, which is quite fascinating.
Yeah, the new one, 13. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah,
expectations are,
apparently they've said it sounds like satanic blues, which is a great,
Really?
a great thing.
Wow.
So it's all proper blues satanic.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Hellhound on my trail.
Their early stuff.
yeah.
Their early stuff was really bluesy, wasn't it? You know, when it started, and just there's not much you can say about them. They were just great band. Geezer Butler, brilliant bass player. Bill Ward, brilliant drummer. Ozzy was great as well, and Tony Iommi, the riff master, really.
Yeah. Indeed.
Let's listen to it anyway. This is Black Sabbath, of course, on Kerrang. And relax. Yes, it's Kerrang Radio. That was a bit of Pink Floyd with Comfortably Numb, which is on the wall, isn't it?
Yes, it's the Wall. Yeah, the legendary Wall.
Yeah, you know, and, well, I really love early Pink Floyd as well, the kind of early psychedelic stuff, you know, the Sid Barrett. I like Sid Barrett, but I also like that kind of, what was it, Astronomy Domini kind of era where...
yeah.
Where it was all,
celestial themes.
Yeah, where
I get it.
It was all just kind of meandering psychedelic stuff. But yeah, just another great kind of interesting band, interesting lyrically and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love the lyrics and you know, the whole theme of like sort of, you know, growing jaded. It's pretty interesting for me, you know, because I experience it myself. And I'm feeling it right now, growing number and number.
Well,
every
you know,
day. It's pretty cool. Very honest lyrics and very, you know, thoughtful. Very adult, you know, if you want to put it that way.
Did you listen to it when you were younger, or is it a band
actually, no. This I've only recently I've been really growing into that band. You know, I was never a huge fan like when I was a kid or whatever, but nowadays I've been doing I've been doing my homework. So
I think it's nice when you do that, actually, where
it's great.
Where you discover a band and then you go, these are brilliant, and then you realise that they've got 12 albums that you can go back to. You know,
lots of things to look forward to. So you know, that's definitely, you know, I got many funny moments ahead of me, you know, going back to the celestial things, you know, Sid Barrett.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it was all made with mind-altering drugs, of course, as well, back in the day and stuff like that.
Circumstances don't matter. It does, you know.
Some of the best music here. Right, it's Kerrang Radio. I'm here with him. They're choosing some of their tracks, and yeah, we're just musing over them, really. Valo, you've got another choice?
Oh yeah. Again, you know, Mige wants the really slow and moody ones, so I was thinking of some proper heavy stuff. And we were talking about Scream, Dave Grohl's band back in the day. And I remember when I first met Lee Dorian from the band Cathedral, he told me that Dave Grohl used to sleep on his floor when they went tour, because you know that was how the hardcore scene was back in the day. Nobody had the money for fancy tour buses or hotels or whatever, so everybody was bunking at each other's sofas and all that stuff. So and Cathedral. I love Napalm Death, by the way. I was a huge fan when I was a kid. And then I was shocked when Forest of Equilibrium came out. It was so doomy, so slow. It blew my mind totally.
Yeah, he doesn't do the gray zone.
He's the man. One of my icons, Lee. And so I was thinking of it's one of the more better known Cathedral ones with a great video to the song called Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder.
Oh yes.
The beauty of it.
Well, you're talking about something really, really close to my heart, because obviously, you know, I grew up watching Napalm Death locally.
Oh, cool.
They were one of the first bands that I kind of hooked up with around the area. You know, I used to go and see them at a place called the Mermaid.
Oh, cool.
And
fist the band.
Yeah. Why not a unicorn? You know.
Right? And I was in a band called Doom. Which was kind of hardcore crust kind of stuff as well. And we were all friends with Bolt Thrower and all those kind of bands. And there was a whole crew of us. And Lee Dorian's a very good friend of mine who I've known since the hardcore punk days and the tape trading days and all that kind of stuff. And I still see him, still speak to him as well. But yes, let's listen to some Cathedral. Great band. They've just released their final album, I think.
It's coming out in a few weeks. It's coming out at the same time. It's called The Last Spire.
That's it, yeah.
And it's superb.
And they've gone back to that kind of Forest of Equilibrium crushing sound as well. So yeah, let's listen to this. This is a bit of a groover, though. This is Hopkins, Witchfinder General on Kerrang.
I'm Matthew Hopkins.
Kerrang Radio, another legendary band that I've seen many times. That was Monster Magnet on Kerrang Radio with Dopes to Infinity. Brilliant band. I first got into them on Spine of God, and, the first album.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they've just released some great stuff. It's kind of heavy in places. It's just rocky. It's psychedelic. You were saying that you saw them, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to see them in my hometown. They were performing the whole Dopes album. And that was pretty fascinating, to experience that. Because that's a legendary album.
But you missed the real deal. I was there. Bucky was in '94. I saw him playing in Helsinki.
I
the
missed
first time, and that was crazy. It was so loud. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then actually we've had the opportunity of touring with them in the States.
Yeah.
And hearing Dave talking about his,
going through his CD wallet.
Talking about his druggy experiences in Philadelphia. He's such a guy. And huge influence, and that's one of the bands that's never been afraid to experiment. Well, not just with drugs, but musically as well. If you think of the development, they've had that particular sound since the very beginning. But all the albums are quite different. If you think of Spine of God, and then think Dopes, and then you think what's it called, with the space law thingy? Power Trip.
Power Trip is the album.
Yeah, they're all really different. And,
and they definitely refined the psychedelia, brought it back to rock music in a certain way, of course. Well.
Yeah, there's bits of garage rock in there as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen them a fair few times. I mean, it's quite well documented that Dave's kind of got a bit bigger over the last few years. 'Cause he was quite a skinny chap when I first saw him, but everyone on kind of the internet has been remarking about how he's slightly larger fellow these days.
Well, it only means that we have more of him.
More of him to
let's say
love.
if anybody can pull that off, that would be Dave. Because I think it was pretty impressive when I saw him. Well, he wasn't New York skinny, but
I think he's a man who's indulged.
He has indulged. Life and seemed happy.
He doesn't do half measures.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks guys. We're going to wrap up by listening to the current single, the new single from Tears on Tape, which is called All Lips Go Blue, which is a lovely title.
You're laughing at the title. You were laughing at fat people. I talked about that earlier.
But yes, this song, I suppose it's about everybody dies in a weird kind of way.
Well, you're the first person to get it.
It's kind of right in front of you.
Yeah, somebody was saying that isn't about loving the dead, and I was like, no,
really.
It's like a memento mori in a way that since all our lips do turn blue at some point, why not enjoy life like Dave Windorf does?
Yes, exactly. We're all in the same boat. We're all heading for the Reaper at some point. But while we're here, let's enjoy it. But thanks for chatting to me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. We've listened to some really good music. So let's listen to some more great music. This is him, of course, and All Lips Go Blue on Kerrang Radio. Thank you.
Thank you.